Well, guys, I have not made a video in a very long time, and I felt kind of bad about that because I just kind of disappeared on you guys. And I came across an interesting stat, and that is 90% of new guitar players will quit after 1 year of playing. And I think that's pretty accurate, guys. And why is that? Well, playing guitar is really hard. And it looks easy, as most things do. It looks easy when you're just observing, but when you try to do it, it's very hard. And the other thing is life gets in the way. So I recently lost my job, and I'm having to learn a bunch of computer science so I can get another job at some point, probably next year. Job market's very tough right now. It's been that way for a while, and I don't want to get pulled into that, but that's a big part of it. Priorities change, and guitar does not pay the rent. For 99% of us, guitar is just a hobby. It's a very difficult hobby, but without getting too much into that, I thought I'd talk about what did I learn. Did I even stick? I've sticked with it roughly about a year, and I was playing pretty consistently and made some good progress. A big part of that was taking lessons, so I would encourage you to take some lessons so you can learn some of that theory, which is really difficult and not very fun to learn that theory, but it will help you play when you learn the major and minor and all the different chords and all the different notes. For most of my life, when I was trying to play guitar, I didn't even know what the notes were. I just knew that if I just moved my hand up and down the neck, that would make noise. And probably, I think most people, that's where you're at, because that's fun. And most guitar players, especially if you're into just like, Green Day and Nirvana kind of stuff, you don't really need to know a lot of chords and notes. You're pretty much just using the major chord, and you're just moving it up and down the neck. And that's what we call the power chord. They non-music theory people call the major chord, they just call that the power chord, but really it's just a major chord, and you're just moving it up and down the neck. But it is good to learn some theory, scales and all that. I couldn't even think what it was called. It's been so long. Let's talk about gear for a second. How many guitars do you need? I'd say you need 2 guitars. You need probably something with single coils like a Fender, and something with humbuckers like a Gibson. If you have 2 guitars, you're pretty much good to go, because with the humbuckers will help you with the distortion. So if you want to play Green Day, Nirvana, that heavy distortion, alternative rock kind of stuff, you're going to need humbuckers for that. It just won't sound right on single coils. And if you're going to play blues, like Hendrix or whatever, classic rock, less distortion, you'll need single coils. So if you have 2 guitars, you're pretty much good to go. What about amps? This was my biggest lesson with guitar. Spend the most money on a good amp. That's going to make all the difference. And I wish I had figured that out sooner. But the best one I've had so far has been a Supro. And I would encourage you to get a tube amp. Get a real tube amp, not one of these digital. I can't stand these digital amps. I can't stand these solid state amps. I can't stand all these computer driven amps. Just get a real Supro tube amp. And they're not very expensive, like maybe $500 for an amp, and it's going to last you a lifetime. So I would encourage you, just go ahead and get that. Now, the one I'm using is called the Delta King. And it's I think it's like a 5-watt amp or a 15-watt amp. It's very low wattage, and it has a master volume, which is huge thing, so that it's not too loud. I can play it in my apartment. But that's another thing to be aware of, is guitar playing can be very loud. So even when I do play today, I pretty much don't even plug it in. I just play unplugged because I can still hear what I'm doing without the amp. So if you're constrained by noise and you don't want to bother people, just play unplugged. It's not going to be a big deal. But a Supro amp is really good. Of course, Fender makes good amps. Marshall makes great amps. I think most people say Marshall makes the best amps. Orange is okay. I like Orange. And the other thing you have to learn is that there's high gain amps and low gain amps. So like a Supro and a Fender are going to be low gain. Orange and Marshall are going to be high gain amps. And of course, there's many others. What about pedals? You don't need that many pedals. I would say just get a good overdrive pedal like this right here, Boss Overdrive OD3. This is a very good pedal, very affordable. It's like $60. And this pedal is very versatile. So really all you need is, one or two guitars with the main thing is going to be the pickups in them. Something with single coil, something with humbucker. Probably just a good overdrive pedal and a good amp and a tuner, of course. And you're pretty much good to go with just those things. Those are the core components I would focus on. And then get some lessons and have fun with it. The other thing I used was a website called Ultimate Guitar that had all the tabs for a lot of songs on there, and a couple backing tracks, which I learned was another big thing, having some backing tracks that kind of made it feel like you were playing with a band. So that was really cool. And I wouldn't worry about recording. That's a whole other thing when you start getting into recording. You have to get into microphones and audio interfaces, and it can be get very complicated. But that's kind of it, guys. Learn how to set up your guitar. That's another big thing. You don't need a guitar technician to change your strings or to set the action on your guitar neck. Just learn how to do that stuff yourself. It's very, very simple. I even made a video about it, but there's better videos out there. All you need is just to set the relief on the neck. It's very, very easy. In fact, I don't even use any of the tools that a lot of people use. These some people use these like little feeler gauges to check the neck. I just use your eyeball. Just look at it. If it looks good, it's good enough. This is not brain surgery. You just want a little gap between the neck and the string, and you're good to go. It's not going to be a big deal. In fact, probably the biggest thing is most people they either set their strings way too high or way too low, and you just kind of want like a millimeter of space between the string and the neck. That's it. Just somewhere between basically roughly a millimeter. Not you don't need to bring out the little feeler gauge and check for the 1,000th of a millimeter. I mean, people get crazy with it, but just, if it's too low, just make it a little bit higher. If it's too high, make it a little bit lower. Just small adjustments. Intonation is another thing. On the Gibson, of course, a big thing was learning how to top wrap the strings. That was a big deal. But yeah, that's it, guys. I had fun playing guitar. I don't know when I'm going to have time to play again because I barely have enough time to even, do the things that I need to do these days. But I'm not selling anything. I moved a bunch of stuff into my storage unit, and it can just sit there for 20 years for all I know, and I'll bring it out at some point and give it another go. But there you go, guys. 90% of guitar players will quit. Guitar playing is very difficult. Is very difficult, guys. It's a lot of technique, and it takes a lot of time, and it's very loud, and people will complain. And it can be expensive. It doesn't have to be though, but it can. People will, if you're like me, will just start buying gear that you probably don't need, and that's fine. You can sell it. Guitar gear holds its value very well. It's very easy to sell. There's a very large used gear market. You can sell it online, or you can go to a guitar store. It's very easy to sell your gear, so not a big deal there. But I think the main thing is life just can get in the way, and finding the time or feeling like it's like you're able to spend that time doing something that's not putting food on the table. Most of us just, we gotta kind of focus on the priorities of life, and health is a big thing too. So there you go, guys. I do thank you guys for tuning in, and if you do leave any comments, I do see those. I will respond to them. Just don't have a lot of time for making videos, but I did want to check in with you guys and let you know I'm doing okay, but not really playing guitar at the moment, and probably won't be for pretty long while. I'm studying cloud engineering right now. It's really cool, and it's something I've been wanting to do for 5 years, and now's a good time to do that. So that's what I'm doing. That's probably going to take me about a year to do that, and then hopefully I get another good job, and then I'll probably have to move somewhere, because I would like to move to a different place, new apartment, or maybe even a house one day. Who knows? And we'll see. But I'll keep the channel up and check in with you guys, and I hope you're doing well. All right. See you next time.